Edwin Sifuna did not enter politics quietly. He's always been sharp, articulate, and unapologetic. From his early days of political communication, he positioned himself as a defender and not a compromiser. He became the Secretary General of the Orange Democratic Movement, a time when the party needed a combative voice. He's never been diplomatic. He's always been ideological and defiant. And that term defiant defines him better. He's always attacked government policies head-on. He has defended the party position without hesitation. And when the government tried to approach him, he never softened his voice for convenience. But here's one thing. ODM is a party that has been built on resistance. And that now tends us to ask a question. How comes a party that has been built on resistance finally find defiance to be uncomfortable?
Someone like Sifuna will not remain in ODM because already it's conflicted. He's now selling the agenda of someone else.
For the last 2 decades, ODM has always stood up as a political party that has defended democracy, that has ensured multi-party democracy has been respected in the land. And whenever they felt like their victory has been overturned, ODM has always challenged even election petitions in court.
We will therefore shortly move to court to challenge the outcome that the IEBC announced a few hours ago.
NASA leader Raila Odinga has now changed his mind and will be challenging the presidential elections that favored President Uhuru Kenyatta at the Supreme Court.
Raila Odinga's supporters are not going down without a fight, and neither is Odinga himself. On Monday, he announced that he will challenge the results of this month's presidential election, delivering his appeal in person at the Supreme Court.
Under Raila Odinga, ODM became synonymous with struggle politics. From 2007 even to 2022, court battles, mass action, street protests. Defiance was not rebellion, it was an ideology. And here is where contradiction begins. If ODM's brand is resistance, why is resistance within ODM now considered indiscipline? Is Sifuna guilty of betrayal or guilty of consistency? After the 2022 elections, the political temperatures in the country changed. President William Ruto consolidated power. Then came talks of dialogue, talks of bipartisan cooperation, talks of a broad-based government. ODM's tone began to soften. But Sifuna, on the other hand, did not. He maintained criticism. He maintained confrontation. He questioned cooperation.
This same regime, this same government, Mr. Speaker, is doing the very same things. In fact, this year alone, it has bludgeoned more people than Moi bludgeoned during the time for multi-party democracy. As a leader of the opposition, I know that I have a right under Article 35, a right that Boni and his generation fought very strongly for me to be able to express my disaffection with the policy of government by protesting, by picketing. Now, I don't know how I can define picketing for my brother Ondbo Khalwale. But picketing includes putting a sufuria on your head.
Tulisema mambo kama hii ya watu kuuawa extrajudicially iishe. Mtuambie hii ni nini? Mtuambie hii ni nini? Hii ndio tulisign. Hii kama ni hii ndio tulisign, mtuambie. Kwa hayo mengi, mimi naomba ndugu yangu Jirongo alale mahali pema peponi. Hii vitu inafanyika kutisha sisi ati tunyamaze. Baka kuiresa fuezi. Lakini hatunyamazi bana. Asante sana. Mungu awabariki.
Now remember something important. William Ruto was once in ODM, and he left under controversial circumstances involving internal friction and accusations of corruption. History has an irony. So when ODM appears to warm up to Ruto and Sifuna resists, is he being rebellious or historically consistent? But here is my analysis. Sifuna represents old ODM energy. The leadership appears to be moving toward pragmatic survival politics. This is not personal. This is ideological divergence. Then comes the bombshell. The ODM National Executive Committee to remove Edwin Sifuna as the Secretary General of ODM. Reports indicate there was no formal notification process that allowed him structured defense. For a party that built its reputation on constitutionalism and due process, this raised eyebrows. What does Sifuna do? He goes to court. Exactly what ODM has always done when aggrieved. And this is the irony of ironies. He is using ODM's traditional playbook against ODM. That is symbolic. It tells you this is not just a disciplinary matter. It is a power struggle. When Edwin Sifuna felt his rights have been violated, he calls for a press conference. While delivering the press conference, Sifuna was accompanied by fellow ODM leaders, the likes of James Orengo, Godfrey Osotsi, Babu, Owino, and Raila Odinga. This was not a power struggle. It was a political statement, focused squarely on the oust of Sifuna and the process behind it. Orengo took a bold position. While defending internal democracy and due process, he went further and stated that the death of Raila Odinga was not natural and required formal investigation. He described it as mysterious and insisted that questions must be answered. The remark elevated the press conference beyond just Sifuna's removal. It suggested that deeper issues may be at play within ODM's recent political trajectory.
I also want to say, without fear of contradiction, the death of Raila Amolo Odinga, which is still a mystery to a lot of us, those bear responsibility of the death of Raila Amolo Odinga are out there, and they are silent about it. But I hope that one day we will determine the circumstances in which Raila Amolo Odinga passed away. And that must be an objective that we must achieve.
Now on Babu Owino, it did not appear to be exclusion. It may be simply be that in the flow of calling speakers, Sifuna moved ahead without formally mentioning him.
We will allow the deputy party leader to say a few things. The Honorable Governor James Orengo will say a few things, and the Honorable Raila Odinga will say a few things. Then we will take questions.
But Babu, being Babu, politically alert, stepped forward and addressed the media anyway. Because in politics, if you're not given a mic, you grab it. And that is what exactly Babu Owino did. Raila Odinga, on the other hand, appeared hesitant to speak. There were moments where Sifuna seemed to encourage her to address the media, but she declined. Whether that was a strategy or choice, it did not send any signal of division. What that press conference showed was collective resistance to the manner in which Sifuna was removed, delivered in different styles but with a shared message.
That the only mistake Sifuna committed and the only mistakes that we are committing is to fight for the downtrodden, to fight for the forgotten in this society, to fight for the less privileged in Kenya, to fight for jobs to be given to our youth, to fight against the high cost of living that is affecting Kenyans in this nation. These are the only crimes that we are committing. And I want to assure you that we are going to fight. The war has been declared, a line has been drawn. If you are on our side, you are on our side. If you are on the other side, fight on the other side. But this is not going to stop anytime soon.
But there is another layer. There are those who believe that William Ruto's strategy is absorption. He is weakening the opposition by absorbing the biggest political parties in the opposition. If you weaken a party from inside, you do not fight it publicly. You encourage internal fractures. If ODM leadership is aligning more closely with government, then a defiant Secretary General becomes inconvenient. But here is the moral question. If the president respects Raila, would he allow ODM to disintegrate? Or is politics purely transactional? Who is playing who? They say history is more than the path that has been left by the past. It influences the present and can shape the future. Raila himself has ever been in that situation when he battled Michael Kijana Wamalwa over the leadership of Ford Kenya. Raila himself faced resistance within Ford during clashes involving leaders like Michael Kijana Wamalwa. He was seen as a radical, too outspoken, too confrontational, but rebellion built his myth. Sifuna's current struggle mirrors early Raila politics: ideological rigidity, legal battles, internal pushback, youthful support. Could Sifuna be forging his own political myth? Political exile often births political capital. Let's go to Busia now. In the last 1 week, Sifuna held a mega rally in Busia that was attended by thousands of people. And this rally must have been the turning point. You see, in the Kenyan politics, popularity equals potential, and potential equals threat. That rally may have been the turning point, because politics is not just about loyalty, it is about succession. If Sifuna becomes too popular, he becomes a future center of gravity, and in political parties, new centers of gravity destabilize existing ones. This is my analysis. The Busia rally was less about Busia, it was about momentum. Momentum scares power structures. So many people could be wondering, what's next for Sifuna? Sifuna has already gone to court to challenge his ouster, a move that I believe that is well supported by the spirit of Raila. Even Raila, when he was alive, anytime he felt that his victory has been overturned, he challenged them in court. And that is what is exactly a student of politics has done. There are those who are saying that Sifuna should get out of ODM and build his own political journey. I don't know. That is up to him. One of the allegations that led to the ouster of Sifuna, as per the ODM NEC, is that Sifuna has always been indisciplined and has acted contrary to the party. Now, let me ask you, was it about discipline or fear of internal competition?